wonder what I'm waving around? It's my title of liberty. Have you heard of the title of liberty? This week, we learned about one of the greatest heroes of the Book of Mormon, Captain Moroni. Captain Moroni and I have a special relationship, so I'm super excited that we finally got to his story. Now, Captain Moroni not only led great armies, but he led his people in righteousness. You may remember that there was a wicked man named Amalickiah who wanted to be king, and he started getting everybody all riled up and trying to get people to do bad things. But Captain Moroni wanted people to do good things. Does anybody remember what he did? This is your clue. He took his coat and he rent it, and that does not mean that he let people borrow it for money. It means he ripped it and then he wrote something on it. Does anyone remember what he wrote? Well, let's read about it really quickly here in Alma 46. So get your Book of Mormon. Alma 46, verse 12. And we'll get a little musical accompaniment to go with this verse. And this is what happened with Captain Moroni. It says, "And it came to pass that he rent his coat, and he took a piece thereof, and wrote upon it, In memory of our God, our religion and freedom, and our peace, our wives and our children. And he fastened it upon the end of a pole." Wow, pretty cool, huh? He wanted people to remember God and their religion and freedom and peace and their families, because those things are very important, right? So he wrote that on his ripped coat, and he put it on a pole and called it the title of liberty, and he waved it around. And all the faithful people came running up and ripped up their own clothes to show that they would make a covenant to keep God's commandments. And if they didn't keep his commandments, he could rip them up like they ripped their clothes up. That's interesting, isn't it? Now, we don't rip up our clothes to make covenants with God these days, right? And we're not going to rip up our clothes today, even though that would be fun. But we are going to write our own title of liberty. Okay, so here is mine. I didn't really have it. I'm not going to rip up my coat, and I didn't really have any old shirts that I wanted to rip up, but I did have a rag. So I wrote my title of liberty on that. And I decided to write 5 F's. So my 5 F's are faith, friends, family, freedom, and food, mainly chocolate. Those are things that are important to me. And so that's what I wrote down. Now, you may not have an old rag or an old shirt, but I'm going to give you another option that you can do if you don't have a rag to write on. You can take a piece of paper, just a regular piece of paper, and you can write your title of liberty. You want to write the things that you think are very important to you, okay? So it doesn't have to be the same things that I wrote. It can be the things that are important to you. And you can decorate it and do whatever you want and make your title of liberty. Yours might be prettier than mine is. But so just write it. You can just put on a piece of paper and write those things on it, and then you can tape it to one of your shirts or pants or dresses like this, like I did. And that will work too. So go ahead. Oh, and you can try to put that on a pole. You can tie it around the pole. If you have long sleeves, maybe it would be easier. Or you don't even really need a pole, because you can wave it with your hand really easily, okay? So either way. So go ahead and pause the video and go make your title of liberty, because we actually need that for singing time today a lot, okay? So hurry off. Go make it good. Okay, are you back with your title of liberty? I bet it looks so cool. Okay, so whether you're holding it on a pole or holding it with your hand, it doesn't matter. We're going to need it right now, because we are going to practice using our title of liberty with our Books of the Book of Mormon song. Let's see if we can really wave it really great, really strong, really nicely with all of our books of the Book of Mormon, okay? So, get your title of liberty ready. Here we go.
First and second books of Nephi, Jacob, Enos, Jeremiah, words of Mormon and Mosiah in the Book of Mormon. Alma, Helaman, third, fourth Nephi, Mormon, Ether, and Moroni. Learn the teachings of the prophets in the Book of Mormon.
Nice work. Did you wave those really well, really strong? I hope so. Okay, so for our singing time today, we are going to be using our title of liberty quite a bit, so keep it handy. We only really need a couple of other things, actually. Let me make sure I remember them all, though. Okay, so you obviously need your Book of Mormon. Hopefully you already got that, because we already read from that, didn't we? And then you're also going to need your title of liberty, and then you're going to need a sword. Get used to it. We're in the war chapters, people. You're going to need a sword for the next couple of weeks at least. And then, if you want to, you can get a cape. Sorry, my sword is going to fall. Okay, if you want to, you can get a cape like this. Of course, you probably don't have a cape like this, or maybe you do. You might have a cape. But if you don't, remember that you can also use a jacket. You know, you can just tie it, or a shirt, or whatever. Just tie it like that, like a cape, okay? So a cape or a jacket. So go run and get those things, Book of Mormon, sword, and cape, and keep your title of liberty. We need that. Okay, hurry up. You can just pause the video and go get it. And we're going to be set to go. Okay, so we're going to talk more today about Captain Moroni, seeing as how he's the best. He, as we have already discussed, he was a very strong and righteous leader. Very, very righteous. So let's just read what Mormon says about Captain Moroni. So get out your Book of Mormon again, and we're going to read this time in chapter 48, and we're going to read verses 11 through 13. Okay, this is describing Captain Moroni and what kind of person he was. It says, "And Moroni was a strong and mighty man. He was a man of perfect understanding, yea, a man that did not delight in bloodshed. A man whose soul did joy in the liberty and freedom of his country and his brethren from bondage and slavery. Yea, a man whose heart did swell with thanksgiving to his God for the many privileges and blessings which he bestowed upon the people. A man who did labor exceedingly for the welfare and safety of his people. Yea, he was a man who was firm in the faith of Christ, and he had sworn with an oath to defend his people, his rights, and his country, and his religion, even to the loss of his blood." Oh my goodness, can you imagine if we were all like Captain Moroni? In fact, let's read in 17 what Mormon said would happen if everybody were like Moroni. In 17, verse 17, same chapter, it says, "Yea, verily, verily, I say unto you, if all men had been and were, and ever would be like unto Moroni, behold, the very powers of hell would have been shaken forever. Yea, the devil would never have power over the hearts of the children of men." So if everyone were like Moroni, the devil would have no power on the earth. Everyone would be so righteous. Isn't that a great idea? We should try to be like Captain Moroni, I think. So, now it's time to sing a little bit more about Captain Moroni. And for this song, you're going to need your title of liberty again, and you're going to need your sword. You're going to need both, okay? We're going to sing our Follow the Prophet song. Okay, we're going to sing our Follow the Prophet song. And this one's going to be about Captain Moroni. So this says, "Captain Moroni was a prophet. He was very strong." That is true. "If everyone were like him, we'd never go wrong." That's what we just said, right? On his coat, he wrote the title of liberty, just like we did. Put it on a pole, held up for all to see. Okay? So we're going to sing that song about Captain Moroni. And while we're singing, you can have your sword. I'm going to hold up the words, so I won't be able to do all this, but you can have your sword and your title of liberty, and sometimes you can wave your title of liberty, and sometimes you can use your sword during the song, okay? So we'll have both. Wave, sword, okay? But I'm going to, and then when we do our follow the prophet, we can march with our waving our flag and have our sword, and then you remember when we sing Don't Go Astray, we can do it with our sword and our title of liberty. So cool. Okay, so that's what we'll do. I'll hold up these words for you. So I gotta sit down my title of liberty. Okay, get ready, get your title of liberty and your sword. We're gonna sing it. Here we go. Captain Moroni was a prophet, he was very strong. If everyone were like him, we'd never go wrong. On his coat he wrote the title of liberty, put it on a pole, held up for all to see. Go! Follow the prophet, follow the prophet, follow the prophet, don't go astray. Follow the prophet, follow the prophet, follow the prophet, he knows the way. Nice work. Did you have your title of liberty waving and your sword going? Pretty cool, huh? Captain Moroni. Quite a guy. Okay, now for our next song, you are going to not need anything because this is what we're going to do. We're going to sing our song about valiant servants. Now, there were lots of wars during the time of Captain Moroni, and I'll bet it was hard for the people to always stay valiant, right? Remember, valiant means courageous and strong and righteous, but many of them did. And we can do hard things too, can't we? Okay, so we are going to sing I Will Be Valiant, and during the first part of the song, we're going to do something hard. We are going to try to, let's see how to do this. Pat our heads, oh my god, move back a little. Pat our heads and rub our stomachs at the same time. Can you do that? It's kind of tricky, especially if you're singing at the same time, which you need to sing. So during the first part of the song, we pat our heads and rub our stomachs at the same time. And during the second part of the song, we are going to floss, not our teeth. We are going to do the floss dance. Now, I'll ask you to practice this. I think I can do it maybe. It's like something like this, right? Oh, I think I'm doing it. Am I doing it? Yeah, I think I'm doing it. Okay, it's a very hard dance. Some of you can do it better than I am. If you asked, you taught me how to do it, but I haven't practiced a lot. So those are hard things, but we can do them. We're going to do the first part of our song. Wait. Patting our heads, see how hard it is, rubbing our stomach. And the second part of our song, flossing. Woo-hoo. Okay, let's do this. Let's just remember the words real quick. The Lord needs valiant servants to do his work in the latter day. This is when we're patting our head and rubbing our stomachs. Oops. Who follow the teachings of Jesus and serve his people in a loving way. Now we go to our flossing. I will be his servant and keep my covenants valiantly. Whoops. I'll stand for truth. I'll stand for right. The Lord can depend on me. You can, right? Okay. Can you do it? Let's do it. Let's do our valiant song. Oops, I gotta get the music. I will be valiant. Okay, get your hands ready. Here we go.
The Lord needs valiant servants to do his work in the latter day, who follow the teachings of Jesus and serve his people in a loving way. I will be his servant and keep my covenants valiantly. I'll stand for truth, I'll stand for right. The Lord can depend on me.
I can't believe I was able to floss that whole time. Usually I mess up. Okay, nice work. Did you do the flossing? That's a great dance. Okay, so even though it was hard, they were still valiant. and we were still singing even though we were doing other hard things, right? That's right. Okay, now for our next song, this is where you might want to have your cape. So if you have a cape, now's the time to put it on, or your jacket you can tie around. All right, because we are going to be very powerful people again. We are going to sing our Dare to Do Right song. Remember that one? We've sung that a few times. So, let's remember the words. It's dare to do right, dare to be true. You have a work that no other can do. Do it so bravely, remember, so bravely, so kindly, so well. Angels will hasten the story to tell. And then we have our dare, dare, dare to do right. Dare, dare, dare to be true. Dare to be true, dare to be true. Okay, remember? All right, so this time we have our cape. And this time, remember last week when we were like really good role models and we kept doing different poses during our Book of Mormon song? Well, this week we are going to do power poses. Now, power poses are poses that make you feel powerful, like this, or like this, or like this. Whatever makes you feel like I'm strong and powerful, something, okay? So every time we sing dare, which we sing dare a lot in this, we got to do a different power pose, okay? So you might dare to do right, dare to be true. You have a work that no other can do. And then when we sing bravely and kindly and well, on bravely, you need to do another power pose. So bravely. On kindly, though, you got to switch to being kind. Do a kind pose. Or you can be giving someone something. So it goes fast. Bravely, kindly, and then well, we go back to another power pose. Okay? You got to think quickly in the song because it keeps going. I got to start thinking of some right now. Okay. So get ready, you have your cape, get ready to do your power poses. Dare to do right. We are going to dare to do right, just like Captain Moroni dared to do right, didn't he? All right, here we go. Ready?
Dare to do right, dare to be true. You have a work that no other can do. Do it so bravely, so kindly, so well. Angels will hasten the story to tell. Dare, dare, dare to do right. Dare, dare, dare to be true. Dare to be true. Dare to be true.
Nice work. Oh, did you feel all powerful and strong? We can dare to do right, just like Captain Moroni. He certainly dared to do right, didn't he? Okay, so for our last song, we are going to sing Called to Serve. Okay, and this is where you're going to need your title of liberty again. And while we're singing, we're going to wave our title of liberty, but this time we're also going to march around the room, okay, while we sing. So you can go all around the room. I have to kind of stay in the camera, but you can go all over the room and march and wave your title of liberty for everyone to see what you wrote on your title of liberty, okay? So, let me just show you the words real quick here. Called to serve him, heavenly King of glory, chosen heir to witness for his name. Far and wide we tell the Father's story, far and wide his love proclaim. We like to proclaim the gospel to people, don't we? Onward, ever onward, as we glory in his name. And then we sing that again. Onward, ever onward, as we glory in his name. Forward, pressing forward, as a triumph song we sing. God our strength will be, press forward ever, called to serve our King. Then we have our second verse. Called to know the richness of his blessing, sons and daughters, children of a king. We're children of a king. Did you know that? We're children of God. Glad of heart, his holy name confessing, praises unto him we bring. And then we sing our onward, ever onward again, onward, ever onward. Forward, pressing forward, God our strength will be, press forward ever, called to serve our King. Okay, and we're going to march with our title of liberty as we sing this. You've probably heard this in church before, so hopefully you remember some of the words and you can sing while you march, okay? So let's get the song up. And we'll sing Called to Serve with our title of liberty. Get your title of liberty ready.
Called to serve Him, heavenly King of glory, chosen heir to witness for His name. Far and wide we tell the Father's story, far and wide His love proclaim. Onward, ever onward, as we glory in His name. Onward, ever onward, as we glory in His name. Forward, pressing forward, as the triumph song we sing. God our strength will be, press forward, ever called to serve our King. Called to know the richness of His blessing, sons and daughters, children of the King. Glad of heart His holy name confessing, praises unto Him we bring. Onward, ever onward, as we glory in His name. Onward, ever onward, as we glory in His name. Forward, pressing forward, as the triumph song we sing. God our strength will be, press forward, ever called to serve our King.
Nice work. That is a very powerful song. Makes you feel like you are part of Captain Moroni's army, doesn't it? Well, I know that when we put the most important things first in our lives and keep our covenants with God, we will be very happy, even if we have hard things going on. Just like in Moroni's time, when they said there was never a happier time among the people. And I say that in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Okay, now you have a little assignment. If you made, and I hope you did, a title of liberty, I want you to have your parents or someone take a picture of you with your title of liberty. You can be doing whatever you want, but take a picture of you with your title of liberty and text it or email it to me, okay? I'm pretty sure I'm going to need those. So, even if you're not in my ward, just send them to me. I want them. Okay, well, I guess I'm going to go partake of my final F, food. All right, kids, we'll see you next week.